All right, what's up, everybody? My name's Jose Giron.
And my name's Jose Quintero, and we're from the Brown Boys Club, book club. Yeah.
All right, so today we're gonna be discussing Hunger by Roxane Gay, and he's gonna start off by telling us a little bit about Roxane Gay herself, and basically everything that we know about her, and well, a lot of things that we know about her.
So. All right. Roxane Gay is from Haitian descent. She was from New York. She has had New York bestsellers. Some of her books have been called Bad Feminist and Untamed State.
All right, so
yeah, that's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have anything else? That's it?
Well, the book we're reading, or we're going to discuss, is Hunger by her.
Yeah. All right. So basically, the book's all about her experience of her weight and like telling her. It's not more like she even says in the book. It's not about like us feeling sorry for her. It's about us like basically just seeing what she went through and the experience she went through, and about her weight and why she's doing it. And basically, yeah, it's a really good book. I enjoyed it myself. Is there any reason why you liked it yourself?
I liked it because she was quite honest. Like, she didn't hold back stuff. Well, she did hold back stuff, but I feel like she was like very like expressive in like these dark like subject matters that I feel like a lot of people don't want to discuss. And
yeah,
I felt it was very courageous of her to actually like, talk about this and write about it.
All right. Well, the reason I really enjoyed the book, I feel like it's more like I don't know if you're gonna get what I'm saying. Maybe you like felt the same way, but it's more like it's easy to read. You know, her vocabulary in the book wasn't so like high that I couldn't enjoy the book. Because sometimes I'm like reading a book and the vocabulary is just super high. I just can't even understand, or I can't even read the words, so like I won't understand the book. And her way of like writing, it's like my way of writing. It's just simple and straight out, you know, like exactly how you said. She's like honest, but does hold things like a little bit of things like back. Yeah. But I think that's what I really enjoyed about her. That's what makes her her. And then
it wasn't very intellectual, I guess, you know?
It was just like, I don't know, to me it was just like, I don't know, it wasn't complicated to read, basically. Yeah, it was easy to read, easy to understand, pretty straightforward. And that's what I liked about the book. And honestly, I could say this is probably my favorite book of all time. Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. All it's right. Like, yeah. So, now basically, like, what do you think her structure is?
For the structure of the book, I felt like it was very consistent. Like, it's only in the beginning, when she begins in the I don't know when exactly in her life it would be, but it's not definitely how it begins. And her, like...
That's when she's at the clinic, right?
Yeah, when she's at the clinic.
All right.
And other than that, after that, it's pretty linear, the story. From her childhood, middle school, to that incident, to... high school and life after the incident, you know?
Yeah, so basically that's an adult.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It didn't jump from place to place.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the only argument I have with that, like, sometimes she did go back to her, like, her childhood, like, while reading the book. Oh, I remember this, I remember that. But I mean, who doesn't do that? Yeah, like, who doesn't do that? Like, when you're an adult, like, you're gonna remember your childhood. Me, as a teenager, I remember, like, when I was 7 years old, and I bring it up, you know? Even in my writing, like, I'll bring it up, but she still keeps that content, like, constant, like, pace throughout her book. And I agree with you in that sense, yeah. And then, what do you think about, like, how does she turn herself into, like, a character in the novel? Like, I mean, the book.
Bill, character is pretty complex, I guess. Like, she says stuff that I feel like a little contradictory, you know? She's always trying to explain her situation to people. So I feel like she's not... I don't know how the words to perfectly describe her, but I feel like she's trying to like explain to us her situation, and I feel like she uses like she goes from like her childhood. She's like a very like naive girl, you know. Yeah. Like pretty hopeful and happy, you know. But once after that incident happens, I feel like she's completely different. She's more like she feels worthless, you know. Yeah.
Okay,
about her character.
All right, and I liked how you said like basically how she's complex. Can you tell me like what makes her complex as a writer? Yeah. I mean, I know what makes her complex. Like she's you even brought it up at the beginning. She's like what makes her different from like other writers. Like she basically like she's honest, but then she holds back. And you could say, oh yeah, a lot of writers do that. But to me, like everything her experience, like you know the rape scene and everything, like. A lot of people don't write about that. A lot of writers won't even mention it. They'll just say, "Oh, I had an experience with this," but she went into like detail with it. Like, what in your mind, what made her like different? What made her like
different? For me, it felt like we've been friends for a while, and she's telling me like this dark past in her history,
Yeah.
but she feels pretty open talking to
It's like you're not her best friend, you know what I mean? Because like to your best friend, you'll tell her like, oh, everything, you know, like. But then you're like just a friend.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So she's kind of wants to explain like this moment in life, but she doesn't want to explain everything. Maybe she might fear that you might be too judgmental. Maybe she can't get herself to like speak to that part. You know, maybe it's too dark.
Okay.
So just like them.
And then I mean, we could talk about like what she wants, like her desires. Like, what do you think her
desires?
Yeah, like I mean, you want me to go? You want me to explain like what?
Yeah,
I think
you can go
her desires-
first.
All right. So I think her desires, basically, like to feel safe. In the book, her desires to feel safe. You know, that's why she gains weight. That's why she does everything. It's just to feel that, you know, just safe, that protective. You know. But then I think her in real life, her desire is basically for us to accept, you know, overweight people. Like we can't just judge and be like, oh my god, she's super big. You know, like she wants us to like I don't really know how to explain it. But like for her to like. She wants us to like say, okay, it's okay to be that big, you know, like if you have a reason behind it, it's okay. Like everyone goes through things. That's what I think her desire is, and like in the book and in like now, you know, like in what she wanted us to like desire to. You know?
I don't know about now, but I know definitely in the book.
Uh-huh.
I feel like she's looking for us for not be so judgmental against people who like are overweight. Like I feel like it's kind of like one of those like you can't really judge those people until you've been in those shoes, you know. I feel like that's what she's trying to get out of this. But I feel like for her desire, I think she's trying to look for a way to like truly accept it. Because I know like she says, and why other people like of her like overweight don't like her sometimes is because she says like she accepts her body, but she doesn't love it. She doesn't love her body. And I think she's trying to look for a way to like cope with it, like cope with the weight that she got, because she feels like she's never going to lose entirely of it. She's accepting it. That's what I think that's like her most desire is to find acceptance within herself, her body and everything.
But that brings back to her contradiction. Like she contradicts herself a lot. She feels like, oh, I'm safe, but I know this is not good for me. So I think like throughout the book, like she contradicts herself a lot throughout her acceptance. Like her accepting it, it's like basically her like contradicting herself. Like I know this is not good for me, but I feel safe. Like that's her contradiction. That's part of like her acceptance. You know, like that's just that's what I got out of it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You agree with that?
Yeah,
all right, for sure.
For voice and tone.
Want to go to voice and tone?
Yeah, for voice, I feel like her voice, and mostly in the book, is seeking acceptance.
Okay.
And sometimes I feel worthlessness.
Worthlessness. You know? What do you have any like pages or any examples, any quotes from that makes you feel that way?
Yeah, there it is.
Are you looking for that book?
Yeah, looking for that.
Dude, I mean, it's all right, dude. All right, so you want to go with the acceptance first? I don't know if you want to. Right. I mean, I think there's one in the acceptance with like the rape part, right? When she's like getting raped and she tells us about her experience.
All right. This one right here?
Let's see. Yeah. Page? I think it's right here. Yeah. Here. You want to read that to us?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So this is the part in page 43 of the book. I stopped screaming. I stopped moving. I stopped fighting. I stopped praying, and I stopped believing in God. Was it? And believing God would save me.
Then yeah, dude, that's acceptance. I mean, like, she stopped believing in everything basically. She stopped fighting in that moment. She's accepted it. Oh, it's happening to me.
But you can also like argue that this is like she felt worthless. Like there's no point of fighting back. I guess. I feel like the other moments in the book, like
where she felt worthlessness, or
I think
because I know acceptance. There's another quote all the way at the end of the book. Towards the end. Yeah, there's like that's the one I got out of it. I don't know. Do you want to read it for me?
Sure thing.
All right, it's like all the way at the book. It's like legit, like the last sentence that she says.
Here's one of the last sentences. Here I am showing you the ferocity of my hunger. Here I am finally freeing myself to be valuable and what is this? Terribly human. Mm-hmm. Here I am reveling in that freedom. Or reveling? Reveling in that freedom. Here, see what I hunger for, what my truth was. No, sorry, what my truth has allowed me to create.
Yeah, I think that's acceptance. She's like basically telling you like, this is like my memoir. This is what I experienced, and I accept it. Mm-hmm. Do you accept it? Yeah. That's basically her whole book. You know what I mean? Like acceptance, that her tone. And then I think you have a quote for worthlessness.
Yeah, for worthlessness. One of the parts like I guess I think this is I believe this is after, at least he's talking about after that incident, you know, she's been raped.
This is what, page 13?
Yeah, page
All right,
13.
sure.
I began eating to change my body. I was willful in it, and in this, some boys have destroyed me. I barely survived it. I knew that I wouldn't be able to endure another such violation, and so I ate because I thought that if my body became repulsive, I could keep men away, even at a young age. So
I agree with you. That's a worthlessness quote, because she says boys destroyed me. Mm-hmm. So I mean, when someone destroys you, you feel like worthless. You feel like you're nothing. You know what I mean? So like I agree.
There.
Yeah, I agree in that sense. Yeah. And then but I don't think she should use that. The only problem I have with this quote is the fact, like, I get that she uses that to like her eating, and then it goes back to acceptance. You know, like if she's like if she accepts everything, why, if she's accepting the rape that's happening, or that rape that happened to her, why is she like eating? You know, like if she accepts it, why like have something to like, I don't know if you get my question, like why eat for you to accept it even more? You know what I mean? Like why does she still like, because like the book is all about acceptance. She's like, she accepts that she got raped, right? We read a quote and she accepted it. It happens, you know. But then the fact that she's eating for her to feel better, what do you feel of that? Like,
well, she explains that because the eating made her overweight, kept people away from her, because men are attracted to overweight women. At least that's she believes most men are. And I feel like this is one of those like contradictions where like she talks about how like the weight is bad for her at some points, like early in the story. Like she knows like it's unhealthy, but she uses this as the armor, you know. So that's why I think she continues to eat, because it's armor for her. The more bigger she is, the safer she feels, and she feels like, because she's like this kind of like feeling of worthlessness in there, like it's not valuable, that the less valuable it is, the less you want to seek it, you know. So that's why she uses like a protection, because you don't want something that's worthless, right?
And that comes back to her contradiction, right? Yeah, if you really think, it comes back to her whole contradiction. I agree and disagree with her on that. I don't know if you do. But then, do you want to go to her revelation of information? Like, how does the author?
Yeah, she's pretty upfront. You know, she doesn't hold it back. She like pretty much just drops it there. Like, I was raped. Yeah. She doesn't like no like warning signs or trigger warnings.
It's basically why we both liked her.
Yeah.
And then, I agree with you. I mean, that's the reason why I enjoyed her reading. She's just one of those people who doesn't hold back. Yeah. I mean, she does hold back, but like things that we don't need to know, you know, like the guy's name, you know, who or the people that she says Christopher, I think that's his name, right? Christopher, yeah. His name is Christopher. She says her name, but she never says like where he worked. She just said like towards the end she starts talking about like she searched him up. I don't know if you remember.
Yes.
And then I think on Facebook, I don't really remember. Yeah. But then she searched him up, and then she basically tells us, he's doing good, but she never says where he works or anything like that, because we don't need to know that. We just need to know that what happened to him, how unfair basically life is, because he's doing good even though he did something bad, you know. So yeah. What do you think of her? We talked about her voice already. How it's like it's like acceptance and like worthlessness. You want to talk about like her imagery, like I mean, like, how do you think does she give us imageries? Like, does she give us any like details? Like, do you have any examples?
That scene where the rape, when she's raped, she's pretty concrete details there, like how they held her down, how she felt at that moment, how she was reacting. It's pretty vivid, you know. Yeah.
Do you want to read it to us? I don't know if you have it. I think. Let's see.
It's page, right?
I believe it's right here. Yeah.
All right, so I guess his name was Christopher. Christopher pushed me down in front of his laughing friends, so many bodies larger than mine. I was so scared and embarrassed and confused. I was hurt because I loved him, and I thought he loved me. And in matters of moments, there I was, splayed out in front of his friends. I wasn't a girl to them. I wasn't a girl to them. I was a thing of flesh and girl bones with which they could amuse themselves. And Christopher laid on top of me. He didn't take off his clothes.
And then if you keep on reading, there's like, I mean, we already read it, but like the second one right here, when she says like he basically went on his knees and just put himself inside of her. Like, and then there's another part where she starts saying how like I don't really remember it. It's like there's a second part. I don't remember it. I don't know. Stop reading. She basically tells us like when they start like their smell, how she could still remember like their smell, like the cologne that we're wearing, them laughing. You know, I feel like that comes back to the five senses.
Yeah,
like, it was like imagery and like all that. It's like the first sense here.
Trying to put us in that place.
Exactly.
You know?
So like, I mean, I'm first of all not even a girl. I've never been through that. You know, like I mean, it happened to guys too. But like you know, like mostly it happens to girls. I've never been through that, and hopefully I never go through that.
Yeah, hopefully.
But then like. Like when I read that part, I was in that situation. Like I put myself. She made me like somehow, some way. She made me like
you were one of the
like I was there. Yeah, like I don't know if I was the guy or like I was her. You know, like I don't know, bro. Like but I was there. I was there watching. You know, like I was there. Like details, exactly. So like I heard them laugh when she said they were laughing. You know, I heard them laugh. I felt when she said like she felt their hand like just pushing her down. I felt that. You know, like I felt it. I was able to like you know just feel it, and then we were able to see it. She obviously painted us that picture.
Imageries,
then smell, like, you know, I was able to smell the cologne. So like I feel like that was like a big part of like concrete detail, you know, like imagery.
A lot of details there. A lot of things that I feel like other writers probably would have avoided.
Yeah, exactly.
Or people have been in that incident, like for us.
Because they tell you. Yeah. They tell you, oh, I got raped, but they never go like, oh my, like they held my hand back.
I'm sure they remember some. When something like this tragedy happens.
Yeah, you remember. Yeah, you remember. You can't forget it. Yeah. Okay, and that's another way that makes her like a unique writer. I think we talked about that's what makes her complex and different.
Feels more human, not artificial.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it's a book, you know.
Yeah.
And then so we're back in imagery. How about figurative language? Do you think she uses any?
She uses a couple. I remember one that I enjoyed, at least, just because I think it explains a little bit how she sees her life. I guess it was like the frustrating thing about cages is that you're trapped, but you can see exactly what you want. So I feel like that was her body, a metaphor. And I feel like a cage, like if you think about like a bird cage or something, that bird can't fly all the way, and you know, you can fly inside the bird cage, but you can look outside, you can see like the sunrise and sunset and all that stuff, but you can never go out there. And I feel like that's what her body was like. She always saw like that girl that wasn't raped, you know. What if, you know? I think she mentions later on in the book, I don't have it written down here, but I remember later in the book she discuss near the end where she like discusses I wonder what happened to that girl that didn't get raped, like what would her life be, you know? And I feel like this is something she questions it. She questions it. She like just more curious of who she would have been if this never happened to her. And I think like that's maybe why she like gained the weight so much, because once she gained the weight, I think that pain was even worse on her, you know.
Do you think that her use of like figurative language is like effective or ineffective, like in her writing?
I think it's pretty effective.
You think it's pretty effective?
Yeah.
Okay. When she says something and when she uses like figurative language, do you think like it helps her book, right? It helps like once again, I feel like it brings us back to imagery, you know, back to images. It gives us like images when she uses it. So like right here, it gives me like the image of her body and how she felt, like and like basically like she gives like the cage and the bird, you know what I mean? Like this is the plane. Yeah. Okay. What do you want to talk about next? Is she an insider or an outsider?
She's definitely an insider.
Insider?
Yeah, this is her life.
It's a memoir, you know. She's
a memoir,
exactly. Yeah.
She's not an outsider looking in. She's definitely the one, like an insider telling you what.
What's her connection to her material? What do you?
It's her body.
It's her body.
It's her weight.
Her weight. Yeah. It's her memoir. That's all we could say. Like. Yeah. It's her memoir. It's her. You know. Yeah. What do you think? Regards to her to this subject, like what do you like? How does she describe? How would you describe this subject? Like, how would you describe her book? Is it like mocking, compassionate, or?
I think it's like getting this pain off her chest.
The pain off her chest.
Yeah.
Chest.
Yeah. Yeah. All this thing like she had all bottled up, you know, and I feel like she's finally letting it out.
And I agree, because I think in the beginning of the book, I'm not sure. I wish I had the quote, but I remember her saying like this is how she basically told her parents that she got raped. You know, this is the first time like she actually opened up. It was through this book, so it's just to like open herself up to like just get that pain off her chest. And I agree with you in that sense. Okay, and then let's see. Do you have like any what do you think her stakes are? Like, what do you think her writing this book, like, what's...
I think her stakes are like as humans, we're pretty judgmental. Yeah, and I think maybe either people are going to see her as a weak person for what she went through, you know, like
and gaining weight,
and everything like that, or maybe they're going to see her like, like just looking for excuses or something. Like she's putting herself out there to be very vulnerable. Yeah, these are very like sensitive subjects for a lot of people. Yeah, I'm assuming a lot of people who've been through this thing try to like avoid talking about this. Yeah, like who wants to share this, and I think it was really brave of her to actually put this out there because you know it can backfire on her completely, you know.
Yeah, because that's the stake. I mean, like as a writer, I mean, like especially a nonfiction writer. Yeah. Like once again, we go back to like her, like how she's different from other writers. Like she tells you a lot of the truth, but then she hides a little bit. But like the fact that she was able to write about her getting raped, like, a lot of people would judge you for that. Like, oh, you got raped. You're not even like people would say you're not even worth anything. You know, like
a lot of people who judge them like. I know that like incidents when someone's raped or assaulted, they always ask like, "What were you wearing?" or like, "What excuse?" Like, what blaming the victim essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like maybe that's
because exactly. Some people are like, "Oh, you're wearing a mini skirt." You know what I mean? Like you.
Why were you doing with those boys in that place?
Exactly.
Like, why did you walk into that dark alley? Like
why did you go into the woods with Christopher in the first place?
No one's ever blaming Christopher. Yeah. They're blaming her for being there.
Yeah, so it's very judgmental. Yeah. I agree in that sense. All right, and then as a man, let's say the professor would have never told us like. Or nobody would have ever told us to read this book. Would you have ever like picked it up and read it yourself without?
To be honest, probably wouldn't have read it. But probably if I knew the subject matter, I would have been interested. But to be honest, I probably wouldn't have read it. But I just would have. There's not something that seems like very appealing to read someone's life.
You know, and I agree with you with that because I mean I've never experienced rape. You know, like I've never.
And that's something you really want to experience.
Exactly.
You know,
and it's something like you never even think about. You know, like it's sometimes when someone tells me like I've had people tell me like, oh, this happened to me. Like it's a sense of rape. Yeah. I'm just like, oh, I feel bad for you. But that's basically it. But after reading this, bro, like. Yeah, I'm just like, dang, like it's a really big topic, and like
that we don't discuss.
Yeah, we don't discuss much, exactly. Especially us as men, you know, like we don't. I wish we had like somebody else here, like, you know, like a girl, like to see her point of view, like what she thought about the book and would she have read it if it's different from ours because we're men compared to a girl.
That's true.
But honestly, I would have never picked up this book. I would have, like, if the professor never told us to read it, this book, I would have read the back of it, you know, like the little summary he has. I would have never read it. Like, it's rape. It doesn't catch my attention. Let's just throw it away, you know? Yeah, but I'm glad he did. And then, do you have any, like, what do you think the central question was in general?
I think the biggest question that we had, it was, was that, accepting the body of someone's body, like how it is, overweight and everything, to like for them to feel better is a good thing, I guess, for that person. But I feel like overall in society, like I think we should have a discussion like to lose this weight. Cause I think as America has this big epidemic of obesity, a lot of people are overweight and people are dying from this. Yeah, and I think that we should discuss it, but it's hard to judge, you know, people like. You don't know what they're going through, so it's not easy to like call someone out for being overweight and saying like you should be healthy and, you know, lose it.
So what do you think? Like, should like my central question was, as a society, should we like go and tell her you're doing bad because like you're too like overweight, you know, like it's really unhealthy for you, but she knows it's unhealthy. We have to keep that on. She knows it's unhealthy, but it's her protective barrier, you know. Like as a society, should we go and like try to help her? Like, what's your answer? Give me like a solid answer.
To be honest, no. I don't think we should force anything upon anybody else like that. But I think the thing we should do is let people know it's unhealthy. That's unhealthy. Like, we should know like what's causing it. Yeah. And that's up to you if you continue to live your life like that. Like that's your life. But you should know. You should have the information beforehand. And if you choose to do that, continue. All
right, this is where like we've been agreeing for almost everything. Yeah. Except that I'm gonna have to disagree on you with that. I feel like we should step in because let's say. I get that, you know, it's a big experience and it's something like and she feels protected, like, you know, like, and I understand that's her way of losing weight. But if you really think about it, we're talking about society here. So like if she gets too overweight, like she'll get too big, she won't be able to work, she'll have a lot of health issues. And then like I work, so as a taxpayer myself, like who's gonna be paying for that? True. You know, it'll be the society, like the people, you know, like taxpayers. Like that's I feel like we should step in and like help her out, try to lose that weight, or get her to accept that it's more unhealthy than it is a protective barrier. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like as a worker myself, like I mean, like we're gonna be paying for her, like basically for her protection. I mean, which is not bad, but if you really think about it, like, do you really want to do that? I think it's like if it could be avoided, why not avoid it? You know, I feel like that's where I disagree with you. Like I feel like we should step in and like try to help her out, or no, not even try, like help her out. Like, hey, this is really, and make her accept more of the topic of weight being unhealthy than more as a protective barrier.
But I think the problem is like who are we to really judge this and do this? Because I know
Yeah.
like in the 60s, it was like society always changes and what we view as that.
Yeah.
And I know in the 60s, gay was being bad, so
Mm-hmm.
you know they would do like shock therapy, like they would like sometimes castrate and lobotomize people
Yeah.
just to make them normal, like what they call normal.
Yeah.
And I think like this can lead to a bad situation if we force things upon other people that we see as
Yeah.
necessary. So I feel like.
But once again, we have to come back. I mean, because when we're talking about society, it's like about money, bro. Like money, like
Yeah, but when it comes to money, our government spends money on other things that we probably see as worthless. We have
Yeah.
trillions of dollars spent on wars,
Yeah.
trillions of dollars spent
That
on
we don't need
plastics,
to spend,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think so. I feel like if we're going to spend money on something, we should
Yeah.
spend it on something that helps people. But I think we
I
shouldn't
agree.
force
Yeah.
it.
I agree on that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that part.
I feel like there's
rather-
other areas where we can save money and do anything that doesn't involve, forcing
because like
overweight people.
once
to,
again, if we're gonna come back to
hit
like
the gym.
I don't know if you remember the missiles that got shot.
Yeah.
I don't remember was it Syria?
Yeah.
Like, that was like something $1 million that we spent on something that wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
I agree in that sense.
Yeah.
Like we spend
I think
more.
there's other
that-
areas that we can save money.
Exactly.
I don't think healthcare, when it comes to like enforcing or not enforcing this on other people, like
Uh-huh.
I don't think it's that much.
Okay,
relatively
so
speaking,
you'd
to
rather
other
spend the money in
things.
healthcare than
Yeah, I'd rather have the
Yeah.
money go to the place.
To
But the
somebody
thing
like
is-
her?
Yeah, to somebody like her.
or somebody like that needs the help. Like,
Yeah,
in
but the thing
overweight,
is,
stuff
I
like
think it's up to them. I think overall it's up to them. Like, who are we to judge someone who overdrinks? You know?
that. Okay. So you're like you accept when you read this book. Let's say right now that you read this book, right? Do you like if you never read this book, would you have said the same answer you gave me right now?
I don't know.
Honestly, you don't know.
I don't know. And here's another thing. Here's the thing. Like about how my question is like accepting the body, like
Yeah.
medical. When it comes to medically like
Yeah.
concern, issues.
Yeah.
Like I agree with her accepting it. The thing is, we can't pretend there's no labels there. If you're morbidly obese, you're morbidly obese. 'Cause I
Yeah.
know in one part in the book she says like even those labels are really harmful to her. Like
Yeah.
knowing that she's super overweight, like but you are. That's the facts.
Yeah.
And the facts are the facts. Whether you like them or not, that's up to you. So
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes some cars, they're designed to fit certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't fit in there, that sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks, and that's your choices. Like you choose not to be
Yeah.
able. You can't blame society for not considering you to be like you're not supposed to be that overweight.
Yeah.
So I feel like we can't, as a society, we can't accept it and truly accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But as an individual, if you want to, as an individual, as a person, we shouldn't be so judgmental on them. Like when it comes to their,
'Cause
like,
there's
we
always
don't
a
know.
reason, yeah.
Yeah, there's always a reason of some sort. But when it comes to society, like if you have family and stuff like that, you should worry about your health. But that's up to you. Like
Yeah.
if you want to make those changes, that's up to you.
Yeah.
You can't force that on someone else.
Yeah. See, like if I never read this book, bro, I would have never agreed with anything you said. I would have
Alright.
like gone against you. But I see your point, and I see the
Alright.
point of the book too. So like
Yeah.
I agree with you. You kind of changed my mind a little bit.
Alright.
Like I feel like we shouldn't really like enforce it on her if she wants to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
We should just like let her be. Honestly, yeah. Because you're
But
right. We spend more money on unnecessary things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. So like, what do you think of the overall? Did you like the book?
Yeah. Overall, I like the book.
Liked it?
Yeah.
I loved it. It's one of my favorite books. It's probably my favorite book, to be
Favorite
honest.
book?
Yeah, my
Alright.
favorite book. And then, do you have anything else to say, bro? Like after we finish this discussion?
No, I think that's it.
That's it. All
Yeah.
right. So once again, my name is Jose.
Yeah,
You
my
know?
name is Josette Quintero.
And this
and
was
the Brown Boys Book Club.
all right.
So peace out.
Peace out. All right.
Yeah.